welcome back to Cook with Pickle. I'm Caroline and today I'm going to show you how to chop a clove of garlic. So I've got a head of garlic here and I need a couple of cloves for the recipe that I'm making later. So I'm going to get them out and show you how to do it. So the cloves just peel off, so you peel the outer skin off the head of garlic. That's the bit that always ends up wisping up off the kitchen, and then you peel and then you take off the cloves from the head. So that's how you kind of take them off, and you can store the rest of the head of garlic in the drawer. So now I've got these 2 cloves of garlic. I'm going to start with the first one. So I'm going to chop the bottom off this clove of garlic, and then I'm going to give it a little squish with my knife. So the idea is that lets the air go between the skin and the clove of garlic itself. I'm going to actually switch to a smaller knife. Sometimes I find it easier when I'm doing small things like garlic cloves to use a bigger knife. I'm not a trained chef. A trained chef would use a big knife for everything, but I sometimes find a little knife like this a bit easier to do. So so you could, if you wanted to, you could use a garlic press for this. So you could put it through a garlic press. You could also, you could also grate it with a fine grater like this. So this is a microplane grater, and it's got a really fine bite on it, so it will almost mince the garlic for you. You could slice the garlic, so just basically cut through the garlic clove into slices. And normally when I do that from the root, so the bit was attached to the bulb, to the tip, which is this pointy bit at the end, so that you're going across rather than going from top to bottom, as it were. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop it into fine dice. So the way that I do that, and this may not be the official way, but this is how I do it, is I tend to cut it into, a bit like when we're doing dice on the onion, we want to make it into little strips before we cut it into pieces. So I hold the garlic clove up on its side and I cut some little slits down into the garlic clove so that it's in slices basically. Then I turn it up on its side and I do the same thing. So I'm going from root to tip, same way that we did with the onion. So I've got the root bit that we've trimmed off in my holding hand and the tip towards my cutting hand. And then I'm going to hold the clove of garlic with my claw hand again and just chop down. So you can see those little cuts that we've made have meant that these little pieces of garlic are in little cubes. Now with the onion, we don't need to cut both ways because the onion itself is made into is made into slices by the way it grows, but the garlic isn't. So that's why we have to do the cuts both ways for the garlic. So there's the little cubes of garlic that I've made. So you could now, if you wanted to, some people will do it that they will put a little bit of salt with this and then use a bigger knife like this to mash the garlic, to mince it. If I want minced garlic, I normally use a grater because I find that's a bit cleaner for me. So I hope you found that helpful. If you want any more hints or tips, please check out the other videos on my YouTube page or head over to my Facebook and Instagram handles, Cook with Pickle. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.